Welcome to r/Tales from Retail, where there's a whole bunch of entitled Karens, wholesome stories to get involved with. Let's get started. Before we jump in, I just want to say if you enjoy Reddit stories, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. It means the world to us and keeps us producing more. Our first story is from Ashley Jade 451. Are you sure there's no security tag on them? Okay, since I finally left my retail job a couple of weeks ago, I've been reminiscing about some of the stories I've had over the past year and a half or so. This one sticks out and makes me laugh, so I wanted to come tell you guys. Let me set the scene. It was back when I worked in the men's store, back when the company had men's stores throughout the UK, and before I got transferred to the hell that was the women's store. Here's the thing I found out about menswear. In general, if men tried on something that they wanted to wear then and there, they wouldn't change back out of it to pay. They'd just rip off the price tag and hand it to us at the till. Not really an issue. It was normally for a t-shirt between $5.99 and $12.99. No security tags. Simple. They pay and leave. It was a small store with 4 people working max, so no one got accused of stealing. On the day this story takes place, it was only me and the manager in. It was really quiet and we stood at the till having a bit of a chat. There were a few teenagers in the fitting room. It was directly behind the till, so it's easy to keep track of who went in with what. They come out, and one of the guys that comes out with a pair of jeans and asks if he can just pay and leave without having to get changed. And the interaction went like this. M. Manager. C. Customer. Me. Manager said, you can, but there's a security tag. You have to take them off so we can remove it. The customer said, no there isn't, it's just a price tag. Okay, no problem. I'll just need a price tag from the jeans. Can you lift the bottom of your shirt slightly? The customer nods and does it. My manager went behind him to get the tag from the back of the waistband. Don't worry, I'm not trying to touch your bum, it's just where the price tag is. We all laugh, he gets the price tag and I ring them up. They pay and leave. My manager and I went back to talking and thought no more about it. About half an hour later, he came back. He said, the security tag went off in popular sports store. I didn't think there was one in the jeans. Can you take it off without getting changed again? Side note, the tag was on the other side of the back and he didn't lift his shirt up enough that side for my manager to be able to see it before. The manager said, no, sorry. I say, wait. And I pick up the security magnet that removes security tags that came away from the till counter a few months before. Couldn't we just use this one? The manager says, yes, come here, and proceeds to take off the security tag. The customer left happy within about 5 minutes of coming back into the store. That must happen all the time in stores. I remember my first job was in probably that popular sports store, Sports Direct. Shithole, don't work for that company. And that sort of thing used to happen all the time. I'm glad I got out of there because it's just like the worst. It's the worst. I hate retail. The next story is from Afrin 996. Can you hold this for a second? One of my more wholesome stories from retail. Meet all kinds of people in the industry. Some good, some bad, some ugly. Occasionally you get one of those kind of neat moments like this. I just started my shift and my co-worker was getting ready to change over and go home when one of the regulars came in. I had chats with this lady about our pet birds before. I knew that their family took in countless rescues and other interest in birds. I didn't see the bird at first and she walked up to the counter and said, can you hold this for me for a sec? And plopped a king parrot into my hands and went to browse the store. I was told all about him during the transaction. He was taken a while ago as a rescue, born with deformities in his feet, beak and something to do with his chest, and he couldn't balance well. Had trouble eating and he couldn't fly. He was very used to being held and handled by humans because of his deformities, so he was more than happy to just sit in my hand and have a good scratch, despite the nature of most king parrots who don't roll that way. He was super cute. So yeah, I got to sit around and play with a bird for like 10 minutes on my shift changeover. I love my job sometimes. And just for reference, here's a picture of a king parrot. Not that particular one, but a king parrot in general. What an amazing opportunity that would be to hold a parrot like that. But imagine just like owning a bird like that. Just hold this for a sec. There you go. Like what the hell? Our next story is from Chrysosaurus Rex. Great name. It's not for crack cocaine. Customer calls my store. I'm a manager. And tells the associate who answers that she has $9 jeans with no receipt but the price tag attached. She has a debit card and she wants it debited back to her card. Associate explains the policy that we will do in in-store credit. Customer blows up on her, screaming and cussing that she needs her money. Associate, in my opinion wrongly, hangs up on the customer. Associates find me and explains this, then the phone starts ringing. I pick up with a normal friendly corporate greeting to get this. Customer says, hi, I want your manager. I say, that would be me, ma'am. Yeah, I just called to talk to someone, another pair of jeans I need to return, and I had no receipt, and I need my money. No, it's not for crack cocaine. She literally yells that part. I say, sorry ma'am, but our policy is no receipt, will be a store credit issued in the current price, and we'll need a driver's license. Customer says, I'm calling your corporate office. Click. We all joked after that fact that it was probably for crack cocaine. Most probably. I think you're kind of wrong though. I think your associate was completely right to hang up on her the first time. If someone goes off on you, you don't need to hear that whether you're working or not. Hang up on those mothers. Our next story is from Sayahana. I did you a favour and you forced me to take it back. One time at work, I was maybe a few months into the job. I was getting murdered by this long line and I was beeping everyone's items the fast I could. I noticed, however, when I was bagging this lady's stuff, that I didn't ring up for one of her shirts she bought. I thought for a second and said, F it, in my head of course, and I just gave her the shirt. She was kind of a bee, so I wasn't trying to deal with her any longer. Anyways, I finished the line quickly, and about an hour passes, and this lady comes back, and looks very peed off too. Hi, anything I can help you with? I ask. She tells me, yeah, you charged me wrong. This idiot, I think in my head. Okay, can I see your items and your receipt? I tell her. And she laid all her items out and puts the receipt in my face saying I overcharged her for a shirt she bought. I go over the receipt with her item by item and she just saw a $29 jean sign over the shirt she bought and assumed it applied to the shirt on the wall as well, even though it says jeans. Anyway, I burst her bubble and tell her, these were all the items you bought, correct? She hits me with yeah, you charged me. Did you already forget that? I tell her, well, I'm gonna have to apologise, but it looks like I missed one of the items when I was ringing you up. And I'm gonna have to do that before I let you leave the store with that again, or it would be considered stealing. Boy, if you saw the look on this lady's face as I censored her shirt and waited for a response. Anyway, she gives me a, oh, and I just rung her up for the $50 shirt and she went on her way. Oh man, imagine coming back to get charged. That has gotta suck, thinking you got a freebie and then... Our next story is from Cherry Von Scary, a wholesome retail story. I figured it'd be nice to hear a positive story every now and then to break up the usual complaining about the Karens we encounter. LMAO. I work at a pop culture retail store that has been, and still is, known for its darker side of products and style. I encounter a lot of younger kids who are trying to express themselves with their darker tasting clothing or unnatural hair colours, just like I did as a teen and continue to do as an adult. Basically, we're emo, goth, or whatever you want to call it, but there's one little girl who really stood out to me. I've been helping her and her dad out probably twice a month for nearly a year now, and as time has gone by, I've watched her start to express herself more and more with a darker style. It's so cute because it reminds me so much of myself when I was her age. After probably the fourth time, we recognised each other and I formally introduced myself and started to getting to know them on a first name basis. We jokingly called the girl my store name Little Sister, and she started giving me hugs every time she sees me. Not too long ago we started chatting about how she's in middle school soon, and I gave her all the advice I needed to hear when I was her age. I know from first hand experience how hard it can be to express yourself around kids that age. Middle school is a mean man. After she left, I see her running back into my store and she asked me for my phone number, saying I've helped her out so much already and she wants to be able to keep in touch. It seriously warms my heart to know that I can help this little girl. I really want to be a role model for her, since I know how much I needed an older girl to look up to when I was her age. I hope my wholesome retail story warms some hearts, just like my retail little sister does mine. And that is what we need, a bit of positivity up in here. I love it. And it's a shame, like when you go to school, and it happens everywhere, but kids take the piss out of things that they see different, but the world would be such a boring place if people weren't different, you know. Spread the love, people. Our next story is from SJ Cunningham. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Customer won't let me remove stock from shop floor. Here's a bit of backstory. I work in a chain shoe store. I'm a secondary supervisor and I'm only in charge when my manager and supervisor are both off. Now on a Thursday, every store gets a list from our head office of stock they want us to send back to the warehouse for a variety of reasons. We call this recall. The recall can only be put through as a transfer the day before the scheduled delivery for that week. Our delivery just so happens to be on a Thursday, so we usually have plenty of time to sort it out, and anything that needs doing is usually done by the Tuesday, ready for it to be boxed with a transfer note on the Wednesday. Now to the story. This happened in a week my supervisor was off due to the school holidays. I was off the Monday and Tuesday as I had worked the Sunday, which wasn't my normal shift. Anyway, I got a message from my manager Tuesday evening, explaining that she'd been unable to sort it out as the shop had been extremely busy. I said it was okay and I would somehow manage. I absolutely hated recall when I'm in charge. It's extremely stressful to do when it's busy. I went in the next morning and went through my usual routine of getting the store ready to open. I finished this at about 8:50 and I had about 10 minutes before I had to open. Karen was already waiting outside, but I refused to open the door before 8:58 as I don't get paid for those extra 10 minutes. I go about my jobs keeping a close eye on the time. Eventually I open the doors and finish opening the shop. Karen storms in, obviously annoyed that I didn't open the shop sooner. Customers are usually grumpy at this time of the morning, and 9 out of 10 times buy something that makes me think, why do you need this first thing in the morning? This Karen was no different as she was looking at sandals. I start sorting out the recall. Most of it was sandals as the company starts making way for winter stock. There was a lot of it, and I mean a lot. About 50 pairs of shoes had to be bagged, labelled and boxed up. More than half of it sandals. Yep, you guessed it, right where Karen was looking. I decided to sort out the rest of recall, hoping that by the time I'd finish, she would have gone or bought something. Sorting the rest of recall took me about an hour. I had to be on the till, help customers and keep my shop tidy all on my own. Now at 10 AM, Karen still hadn't bought anything and was in the middle of trying some sandals on. I checked the shopping centre and it was getting pretty busy and there was no way I could wait to do the recall. This is where the mess started. I started to remove some of the sandals. Karen came up to me and said, "Excuse me, I was looking at those." I said, "Sorry, I need to send these back to the warehouse." "Yes, but I was looking at them. Can't you do it later?" I said, "I'm quite happy to leave the ones you want to try, but I have to take the rest." "No, you'll get in my way." I said, "I'm sorry, but I need to get it done as soon as possible, otherwise it'll get too busy." Karen says, "If it gets busy, it can just be done tomorrow." "No, it can't. If you need me, I will be at the till." I walk away from her, not giving her a chance to respond. I keep going back and removing more sandals until I have all of them on the list. This, however, does leave quite a few gaps, and Karen, being a typical Karen, complains. She says, "How am I meant to shop for sandals when you've removed them all?" "I'm sorry that you can't find what you're looking for, but we do have limited stock here. I can have a look on the till for you and show you pictures of the stock I can order in for you." "What about those?" And she points to the ones in the box. I said, "Sorry, those aren't a part of stock anymore. I did say if you wanted to try them on, I would leave the size with you, but you didn't ask." She says, "I'm asking you now. They're in stock, they're right there." "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I did tell you what I was doing when you spoke to me." "I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I can have a look if any of the nearby stores have what you want." She says, "I want those." "I'm sorry, they're not for sale. I waited for as long as possible." Karen says, "I want to speak to the manager." Of course she does. "I'm in charge today. I can give you the customer service number if you want to talk to someone else." "That's a lie." She takes the number and storms back out the shop, knocking my colleague's little girl over on the way out. I get a phone call from customer service about 30 minutes later asking for my side of the story, but nothing came of it. Hope you enjoyed my story. There's an ever such a little spicy touch of malicious compliance in there as well. I like it. Oh, pretty amazing. I do love retail stories. As I said, my first job was retail and I never ever want to do that again. Some people absolutely love it and fair play to them, but that would just send my anxiety over the edge. Anyway guys, a massive thank you for being here. It really means the world that you just watch these, you know. Absolutely, you lot are insane. But love you so much. Take care now. Goodbye.